in the world, they give a very expanded meaning of Om. But Baba says, Om, the meaning of Om is very simple. And the meaning of Om is, I am a soul, I am peace. I am a soul, I am peace. And Mama says that Baba teaches us the meaning of Om so that we can experience Baba. Because once we know I am a soul, I am peace, the second thing to know is I am a soul, I am a child of God. And Janki Dadi ji used to always say, 3 baar Om Shanti kaho. She used to say Om Shanti 3 times. She used to make everyone in the hall, everyone in the assembly, speak Om Shanti 3 times. And she usually gave the meaning of that. She said, first Om Shanti means I am a soul, I am peace. Second Om Shanti means I am a soul, I am the child of God. And third Om Shanti means I am a soul, I belong to the soul world. So, and the most important difference between this mantra of Om Shanti, how it is used in the world, and how Baba asks us to use it, the difference between the usage is that in the world they believe in repeating it, chanting it. Yes, so have you seen that in many schools of religion, they will just keep, that chant goes on, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. And we also have a song, Om Shanti Om. But Baba says that that's not the purpose. Okay, the chanting is done and all of that is fine. But what Baba teaches us now is to stabilize ourselves in the meaning of Om Shanti. So, coming to the awareness that I am a soul, I am peace, or stabilizing myself in the awareness that I am a soul, I am the child of God. So, that awareness, that shift in awareness is what Baba is asking us to have. And this shift will happen only through practice. So, because through 63 births of our life in body consciousness, our Om Shanti has shifted to something else. So, I am a soul, I am peace has become I am a body, and you put so many adjectives to define yourself, and that's how it has become. But coming back again and again and stabilizing myself in the awareness that I am a soul sitting behind the eyes and I'm absolutely peaceful, getting in touch with my quality, nature. So do you understand that even if there is a mango lying on the table, it's on the table, can you taste it? So if it's on the table, you don't get a taste of it. Only when you cut it and put it in the mouth, you get a taste of it. Similarly, Baba says that I am a soul, I am peace. So that is who you are. But how do you get a taste of it? When you sit in the consciousness of it. So, just like, there is a mango, or maybe there is water in the room, but you can still be thirsty when there is water in the room because you don't make the effort to go pick the bottle and drink it. Similarly, if you don't, unplug your man and buddhi from wherever it is, wandering, and bring it to the center of the forehead, and you do not allow yourself to experience the peaceful being that you are, then you are a soul, that's the truth, but you may never experience it. So Baba says that you have to stabilize yourself in the meaning of Om Shanti and come to that meaning that, I am a soul sitting and I am peaceful. And through this awareness, experience who you are. And then the second thing is, I am a soul, I am the child of God. And who is God? God is the ocean. And by virtue of being the child of God, I am the master ocean. And master ocean of what? Master ocean of every virtue, every power. And somebody who is the master ocean, can they ever say, I don't have this virtue, I don't have this power? Can you ever say, I'm stressed, when you are the, child of the ocean of peace? So, it doesn't match. You can't use these words, I'm stressed, or I'm worried, or I'm not feeling patient at this time, I'm feeling impatient. You cannot use these words because you are the child of the ever stable, ever pure ocean of virtues and powers. And Baba says you need to hold this in your awareness. We have to spend a lot of time, a lot of thought in building this stage where this awareness that I am a soul, I am peace, and I am a soul, I am the master ocean of virtues and powers because I am the child of Baba. That starts, getting instilled in me. So, and this is what all of meditation and practice is about. And I think, even when Baba says that, today Baba talks about remembrance as the fire of yoga in which the sins burn. Yes. So, what we are talking about in the first segment is not the fire of yoga. The fire of yoga is when I have stabilized myself in the essence that I am a soul, and in the deep heart-to-heart remembrance of Baba, I am soaking in the light and might that Baba has. That is the fire of yoga through which sins burn. And when we talk about meditation, we are talking about that, that deep, intense, heart-to-heart connection with Baba, where, I feel Baba's light and love and powers coming to me and, burning my sins. That's a different stage. For that, we need, the fire of love, and we need this, this sense of deep relationship, deep belonging with Baba. But what I am talking about is a very initial practice. So at least I have to spend hours and hours of time and thought thinking about my nature, thinking about my form, and thinking about the fact that I, the child, am the master ocean of virtues because I am the child of God. So meditation will come later, but practicing this soul consciousness and Supreme Soul Consciousness. That's the first practice. And every practice has a result, and every practice is important and powerful. And we cannot say that, practicing soul consciousness doesn't mean anything. Yes, it means a lot, because all your latent qualities which you thought you would get from outside and you were searching for, they start to emerge when you start sitting in the experience of Om, that I am a peaceful soul. And then when you think about yourself as the child of God, then all the powers, that too, the power of being the master ocean, that kind of emerges in you. So your stage becomes very powerful when you practice these things. And then Baba today says that another thing is that my Baba knows the whole knowledge of the beginning, middle and end. Yes, so Baba is the seed, and the seed contains the knowledge of the whole cycle. So Baba says that when I am the child of God, I am also the master ocean of knowledge. So when I sit in the awareness that I am the child of God, then I know what God knows. Because you see that even little children, and I have seen, that if the father is a jeweler, and so the little child will also know where to use which chemical and which acid and which this and that, which may not be known to the majority of people in the society, but that little child knows it because the father is a jeweler. So the child will have knowledge about something that the father knows. And because our Father is the teacher also, and he comes and tells us everything in detail, we know what God knows. And Baba says, sit in the awareness of not only being the master ocean of virtues and powers, but also being the master ocean of knowledge. And if I stabilize myself in this remembrance, in this awareness that I am the master ocean of knowledge, then will I perform, will I act the same way I do today? So if, because if I know better, I would do better. Yes, and Baba tells us that the biggest aspect of knowledge is who you are, who you have become, and who you're going to be. So when I understand about my original, stage in Satyug, and I understand what I have become today, and I have that aim, then my actions would change automatically. And I think, in my personal experience in this journey in Gyan, I feel that we get, when we do the course, we get all the information about who we are, who we belong to, and the whole cycle, but it takes a lifetime to imbibe it. And that's why, it's Jivan Mukti in a second, because in a second you know what you didn't know, but then it takes a lifetime to just be an embodiment of what you know. So Mama today explains that the meaning of Om Shanti or Om, and Mama says that you have to stabilize yourself in the meaning of Om, and stabilizing, any kind of stabilizing takes a lot of time and effort, so we have to make that effort. And then you see that in the Murli today, Baba says that this is a world of sorrow, and you become very sorrowful mainly because of one thing, because you forget your father. And I will read that line to you. So Baba in the Murli says that at this time the soul of everyone is Tamo Pradhan. They all continue to cause sorrow to one another. Who causes the greatest sorrow? Those who turn you away from God. This is why Shiv Baba says, children, leave all of them aside. It is said God is one. All of you are brides and I am your bridegroom. So Baba says that those who turn you away from God cause you a lot of sorrow. Because you see that I am a soul and I am the child of God. And I am such an elevated being by virtue of being a child of God. And what have I been taught in the world? I have been taught in the world that my ancestors were monkeys, and we have monkey traits in us, and that monkey mind is a natural mind. So Baba says that the greatest sorrow is caused when your buddhi is turned away from God. And now when we turn our attention to God, when Baba comes and he gives us the knowledge that you are my children and you have a deep connection with me, then slowly this self-realization of how dignified, how elevated, or how virtuous I am, this self-realization brings such a big shift in my life, in my actions, or in my attitudes. And Baba says that it is very important to know that you are a child of God, but also to stay in that awareness. And just ask yourself, so do you know that there is this phrase that you behave as you are? Yes, so if you think I'm a mother, you think like a mother, you speak like a mother, you act like a mother, right? And if you know that I'm a child of God, I am Master God, then when you know yourself, how would you think, speak, and act? How different would that be? And it's all about knowing yourself. So, in the world also, when the mother knows I am a mother, then the child is in control. And when the mother forgets I am a mother, then the child goes off track. Do you understand this law? So, there was this mother, and she came and told me that my child abuses me. He's 7, 8 years old and he abuses me, and he just, hurls slangs, and he says you're a bad person, bad mother, and he's getting out of control. So I asked her this question, so when he says you're a bad mother, how do you feel? So she said, I feel bad. So I told her, at that point, you have forgotten that he is the child and you are the mother. You have made him your mother, and you are internalizing what he is saying. So obviously he will start having power over you. So you don't forget you are the mother, and you don't have to take what he says about you. You have to give him what he needs to learn. But you see that when the mother also loses authority, so there is this dignity that comes from knowing who you are, this positioning of the self which comes from knowing who you are. So when you start, so even when you are in a powerful position, if you don't hold that in your awareness that I am the boss. So Baba always gives this example that there are instances when the king is overthrown by the by the army. Why? Because the Sainiks or the king's army, they overpower the king. Why? Because the king has forgotten that I am the king. So, when the king starts becoming fearful, when the king starts, behaving not like the king, then the army will take over. Similarly, Baba says that when you forget that you're God's child, that you're the Master Almighty, that you're the Master Ocean of virtues and powers, when you forget who you are, then situations take over you. Then, nature, the 5 elements of nature, or the behaviors of souls around you, they will take over you. They will overpower you, because it's not them, it's you. So, any situation is directly proportional in power with your weakness. So, as weak as you are, the more powerful the situation is. So, this is why Baba says that it is not the 5 elements that have become powerful. It's not other souls who have become powerful. The problem is you have forgotten who you are. And the ones who make you forget this, they are the ones who cause you sorrow. But nobody tells you you're not God. They start telling you you're monkeys and you're donkeys and you're this and that. And then you start buying into it, and then you start believing that, and that is when the problem starts. So Baba says that I come and remind you who you are. I don't tell you that you fight with this situation or you fight with this and that. I just remind you to come back to the dignity of who you are. And when you are stabilized in your power, then everything else becomes less powerful than you. So, what is the real reason for our sorrow? The true reason for our sorrow is we forgetting who we are and we forgetting whose children we are. So, every day I have to spend time and thought, and especially at Amrit Vela, stabilizing myself in the awareness again and again about who I am and whose child I am, and emerging the qualities of strength and power that lie latent within me. So just like there is a seed, and in the seed there is everything merged, but until the seeds until the seed gets the water, the sunlight, or the foundation of the earth, it doesn't bloom into a flower, it doesn't bloom into a plant. Similarly, Baba says that you are the seed, you have everything inside you, and I am the one watering and giving sunshine, but you have to sit in this awareness. You have to allow me to water you, allow me to give you the sunshine. And when you sit in silence and you do self-reflection, when you do Gyan churning, when you sit in remembrance of Baba, that is when you kind of start watering the seed that's you. And then all the qualities and all the powers that are anyways there in you, because you are my child, they start emerging from within. So this is something that we have to pay a lot of attention to. And then Baba says that another thing is, so this is building awareness. But then on the foundation of this awareness, you have to have the building of yoga. And Baba says you have to have the fire of yoga. So, when you remember that I am a soul and I belong to one Shiv Baba and none other, then you remember Baba with a lot of love, lot of concentration, lot of heart to heart connection, And in that connection, everything inside you which is not you starts getting burnt. And that is the power of yoga we need. And Baba says that this yoga will purify you. And Baba says that, just like gold is purified when it is put in fire, so you also need to have this fire of yoga to purify yourself. And Baba today says that I have given you the responsibility, the task to purify yourself and purify others. So you have to become pure and make pure. So once you take it upon yourself to burn your sins in this fire of yoga, so you have to make it a personal agenda that I have to devote so much of time and thought, and I have to burn my sins. So when you do that, you become pure, and then you also, with your company or with the effect that you have through your company, you also inspire others to become pure and engage in this practice. And then I was also thinking about, this whole aspect of who I belong to. So, there is this thing which when people turn away our attention from God, then we have bought into the messages that we belong to people. Yes, we belong to souls, or we belong to our work, or we belong to some institution. So maybe I belong to the government, or I belong to my family members, or I belong to my spouse, or I belong to my children. But Baba says, no, you don't belong to anybody. You belong to me. Yes, I have full ownership over you. And you have to do what I say. So do you understand that it's not a matter of choice? It's a matter of knowing who you really belong to. And Baba says that this is an unwritten contract. So have you seen that in the world, do the father and the child have a written agreement that the father will take care of the child and the child will take care of the father? No, there is no written agreement. So, when there is a relationship, there is no need for a contract. So, Baba says that, but you need to realize that relationship. And that is instilled into us through value system. And Baba says that now you have to remember this. Now I am telling you this, that I am your father and you are my child, and you belong to me, and you have to have this relationship where I unconditionally love you, I sustain you, and that's my job as a father, and I do it every cycle. But you also are my child. You don't have to become my child. You are my child. You have to realize how to behave with your father, how to belong to your father. And do you understand that this is my Baap and he has full ownership over me? So, my time, thought, wealth, energy, everything belongs to him. So, Baba says you have to have this deep, deep realization about who you belong to, because in the Ravan Rajya we have been trained to believe that we belong to souls, we belong to institutions, we belong to families, but we don't belong to anyone here. And Baba says you have to have Sato Pradhan renunciation now. And what is Sato Pradhan renunciation? Pure renunciation. So Baba says you have to withdraw your intellect from the body, from the relationships, from the religions of the relationships, because Baba says you don't belong to any of these. So, do you understand that the state of the body, the state of relationships, and the state of everything around you is a byproduct of who you are? It is all inside out. Yes, so just like there is a fulcrum, and if the fulcrum is in place, then the whole machinery will work around it very well. So, you, the soul, are the fulcrum, and when you are positioned well, then the body, relationships, and everything that you do and have will be in place. But Baba says that now the fulcrum is asking the machine where I should be. And that's when the problem starts happening. So you have to take your position. You don't have to be concerned about the body, the relationships, because all of that is a byproduct, a natural consequence of your stage. So Baba says that you have to withdraw your intellect from everything on the outside, because anything that your intellect is connected to starts having an influence on you, and everything in the old world is depleted, degraded, and it has lost its strength. So Baba says you have to withdraw your intellect from this old, depleted, degraded, sorrowful world, and you have to become a theist, astik, and you have to know who you are, who your father is, and start belonging to the Father, start following whatever He dictates. And when you start doing as He says, then everything around you will automatically start to settle in. So this is what Baba says. And then Baba today says that instead of describing your karma bhog, which is your suffering of karma, instead of expanding in big words how much you're suffering, how much karmic suffering you have, just describe your state of karma yoga. So Baba says, don't describe your karma bhog, instead describe your state of karma yoga, because you see, words are energy, and whatever you give your energy to will grow. Do you understand that? And whatever you describe, whatever you give your verbal energy to is growing. And when we are describing our karma bhog, we are actually giving it energy. And we are, instead of healing it, we are, exacerbating it. So Baba says that even if there is an illness, or there's a financial problem, or there is any issue, there's a relationship issue, whatever is there, but especially when there is physical pain, instead of always saying I have this pain, it's aching here on the left today, and then on the right today, you keep describing the pain. And what happens? As you give your thought energy, word energy to it, the pain is growing. So instead of doing that, what do you do? Because when there is pain, what do you do about it? So instead of describing the pain, describe, even in your own mind, what do you say? I'm in the light and might of Baba. I'm sitting in the canopy of Baba, and I'm doing everything with a lot of love and a feeling of peace and joy. So this karma yogi state, where you're functioning in this world, but you're drawing love and light from Baba, the more you describe this, this experience will grow, and the attainment from Baba will grow. And as the attainments from Baba reach you, and they find a place in you, then all the pain that's there will go away. So Baba says, Don't spend your vocal energy, your energy of words in describing karm bhog. Do you do that? Yes, everybody does that. You keep describing problems and keep describing aches and pains. But Baba says instead, always describe how loving, how comfortable, how happy, how peaceful you are in the company of Baba. And whatever you give your attention to will grow. So, this rule has to be followed, because you see, the more we are focusing on what is, the more it is, increasing in intensity. But if we just focused on this beautiful stage where I'm with Baba and I'm in a state of peace and love and joy, and I'm doing everything, passing every paper, doing everything, but in the canopy of Baba, I don't feel the brunt of it. I feel very peaceful, happy while going through these Sangam Yogi karmic settlements. Then that experience of peace and love will start growing. And then all other experience, all other pains will start making way for this experience to expand. And in doing that, all the problems will start, paving way for your experience of peace and happiness to become permanent. Okay, Om Shanti.